Hi guys. Lovely. Look at that, it's 4 and everyone's joined. Okay, just now, Kenneth. Give another minute, guys, and we can start. That's some intro there, Friday. How are you surviving, sort of? Yeah, that's something between you guys there.
I think she really care about me. Thanks, Roger. But according or all to do with the trading. No, I'm basically just surviving.
Oh, right, okay. Well, not saying that's not serious, thought it might be something serious that might happen to you over the long weekend or whatever. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Anne-Marie. It's very difficult not to do that. I mean, it's one of the most difficult things because this jumping around, this uncertainty goes on. You tend to grab it, and then you're nervous. You're looking at it, you're staring at it, it jumps up a bit, and you're panicking out, and that's just a bit of buying, selling, noise, movement. Pity, but anyway, yeah. Try and get the habit. If you get nervous, you're cutting the position, certainly modifying the stop. Trying to make a habit of doing that. I'm not talking because it's getting clever. I've been through all that myself, and it's just a period of time that I've realised that that's probably the slightly better options. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on the winners, but you're still going to suffer from the ones that do okay, like this one here. It's clear that's okay. Just to rub it in, I'm afraid. Yeah. Yeah, but again, that's emotional. Grab as much as I can. That's not really. Go on. Sorry, go on.
It's true. Now the job openings is out, and it is less than what was expected.
Okay, let's look at the euro dollar. Yeah, which weakened the dollar because the euro is a base currency. Yeah, there you are. Anyway, okay, so that's fine. Now we'll come back to that one. There's 103.59, 103.60 plus minus. Well, it's 90 pips in profit. So clearly you'd be modifying the stop loss now. If you got nervous, the momentum's still down, you might as well ride it. You can still cut your position, but modify. But don't jump out. And it's a natural emotional protective thing. Aeon's in our genome. You've got to almost change the muscle memory around to overcome it. So I get that.
Hey mate, where do we lock the stop loss here?
That's a practical question. Might shoot back to 101 actually. So put it around figure 101. If it gets back there, you still made 60 pips. but it might. If it starts moving back above 80, maybe you can cut your position. Okay, I presume you've got more than one micro. It's got one micro, it's cut much option. If you've got more than one option, maybe cut your position till it goes back at 180 and have your stop loss at 101. Remember, it's 99.50 as a TP worked out on the risk reward ratio. It's the point why we do the risk reward ratio. If you keep taking it at less than 1-to-1 in the favor of the loss versus the win, you're going to have to win a hell of a lot to beat the system, you know. So you might as well ride the winners as they're supposed to be, like I mentioned. And to say we've still got 110 pips, 110 pips to go to the TP. Still a long way to go. So to make it worthwhile, I mean, the stop loss was 100 pips away. We're not even 100 pips in profit yet. So if you get out now, you're risking 1 to make 9. And Anna Marie got out. I don't know what price she got out at, but she risked 1 to make probably 0.3. So risk reward is completely up to maggots. That's the problem. And again, I'm totally empathetic. Been through this myself, and it's very, very difficult. There's a reason why those emotions are built over aeons and aeons in us. It's got to be aware of them and sort of let chip away at it. But it's effing difficult. But it's without doubt the most difficult of all. In fact, I'd say probably if you look back in life, most human beings that existed, most of the mistakes are made through to the emotion taking over the rational. Believe me, I'm like that, like everyone else is. Am I like that? So I get that completely. Yeah, so I think you're in a profit now. Put 101 on the dot. You're in a profit. Now you're a bit more casual thinking. You bagged your profit, okay, whatever happens. Now you're thinking, can we increase that profit? Can we get to the TP? Maybe we can, maybe we can't, we don't know. And if you are nervous, when say if it takes that out on the sell, the bid, 100.80, maybe cut your position, leave your stop loss, at least you bank some of the position. If it continues down, at least you're on board. If it doesn't get to 180, don't do anything, just keep your stop there and ride it down a bit. Okay. Someone asked about NZDJPY. That was a bit of a disaster, that one. That's mainly for a fundamental, to be fair. But anyway, Apple, look at the gold shooting up now, all over the bloody place. Eh? You know, it's gold we've had out for about a week now. At least that's back in profit again. NZDJPY. Yeah, it's coming off. I thought that was a bit overcooked. I thought the Japanese yen was overcooked. Might come off. Do I want to join it again now? I'm not that keen to chase it just after you got smacked by it. If you didn't get smacked last time, you can look at going in for it. It's now in the buy zone. It's what we call that technical damage. From the sell zone, it's now gone to the buy zone. Remember, we sold it was down here somewhere. And that's good. I can't remember what it's down here maybe. And it shot up. So it's gone from the sell through the median to the strong zone. So I wouldn't get too cute at the moment. I think it's going to pull back, but technically, who knows? I think best probably be more prudent at this point. Okay. Okay, that's what I think anyway. Look, these ones I wanted to look at as well. Are they starting to come through? Remember, just above the 91 figure, I wanted to take this out, leave that alone. AUDJP, that's come up. Remember, that's the one I wanted to look at this morning, and it came below there, but nobody wanted to do it. Should we chase it now? 60 pips below that figure. I want to get in around about that level there. I think that ship might have sold, unfortunately. If it bounced up a bit, we'll look at a sell. I think the Japanese yen is going to regain some strength, to be honest. As shown by the CAD JPY, and that's a sell, yeah, gaining some strength, yeah. Could be right the way around. Yeah, so it looks like it's gained some strength, but I'm short chasing it now. Where's the stop going to be? 90 pips. Where can we take it to? Yeah, take it down there to make it worthwhile. I think you're chasing a bit now. That's where we want to be getting in this morning. Okay. Thought that was so overcooked. because it's gone up so much. I think it's more knee-jerk. I think that's going to be everlasting, you know. Anyway, so I think unfortunately that might have shit sold. Pity, but there it is. Okay, shares, I'm not sure. I'm very nervous of shares in the dollar at the moment. What's it today is Tuesday, right? Yeah. Wednesday, we got FOMC, Thursday, jobless claims, Friday, non-farm payrolls. Very nervous of gold, very nervous of share market, very nervous of the dollar. So be careful. Okay, at least we got a CAD JPO out today, and that's doing okay. WTI came right back. It happened there, it's doing beautifully, and it came back dancing around. That's the market view at the moment. The fundamentals are really giving us chip. That's come right back. I modified my stop, so I was kicked out of that not so long ago, before 4 o'clock. In a profit, but not much of one. Compared was up, but it was in a profit. I modified, so at least I'm out of that. But that's come flying off. Don't try and chase on the upside or chase the downside at the moment. Leave it alone. But I think there's a chance it might flatten out a bit. We might get another chance. If you're knocked out in the profit, which I hope you were, if you're still in, we might get stopped out. But if you were knocked out in a profit, then we can maybe look to buy it back up again. But just that momentum is clearly still down. Let's go back to it, but don't try and keep now. Okay. What about the other ones we got out? Euro GBP. That's starting to recover again. Thank goodness for that. That was stopped out, wasn't it, in the end? Can't remember actually. That was a few days ago last week. Okay, so we'll just start afresh then on that basis. Going into this week. Okay. So yeah, we've got the one out at the moment. It's going to be iffy. I'm saying right here now, make you aware of it. It's going to be iffy. If we find trade, we found one this morning. It's worked out so far so good. CAD JPY I'm talking about. But otherwise, it's going to be iffy going into this surfeit of very important. The FOMC is extremely important tomorrow. And of course, the non-farm, as always, is important as well. So, yeah. Nothing wrong with that, being aware of it, just that it's not being negative, being aware of it. It's like nothing wrong with driving a car, but, you know, it's dangerous. You put your seatbelt on and drive, you know, a little more carefully. Try and avoid a pothole, which I hit this bloody weekend. I pissed off about. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a roundup. The NAS is I put out in my weekly analysis that I thought that this sort of area here would hold. So rather look for shorts around those areas. Around about the 13,250. I think it was about 13,550 stop, something like that. 13,5, I can't remember. And set it down, but be very wary of it. It's coming off a bit, but that's the NAS for you. Could jump up at just now another 50. Leave it alone for the moment, but don't be buying it. But if you must do it, I'll sell it, but be very wary of it. That could jump around. I think it's overcooked. I think the market's overcooked. I just think there's too many problems out there. And, yeah. But not to stop it going a bit further before it comes off. You know, just when's it going to come off? That's the major thing. Did some of the CPD I was telling you about was saying be careful of bubbles. People preempt them because they want to be on board, and the bubble continues to expand until they get short squeezed out of the business. Don't try and jump in yet. It could go up further before the eventual big move down, which most people seem to be expecting. Okay. I think that well last night, so it's a bit slow in the uptake, right? Okay, yeah, leave shares, leave everything alone at the moment. It's a bit of a state of flux, I would say. Okay, anything else that could sort of come up? Yeah, so dollar related, I think this is going to start coming off. Just if it wasn't for the stuff coming out and the fundies that are coming this coming week, I'd say it's a good opportunity to short this down. Your dollar's coming off as we speak, yen's weak to strengthen. Technically speaking, I see a good move down here. I mentioned this morning the Japanese yen. I see technically getting quite strong over the next week or two. we could take advantage of it. And I'd love to do that right now. I really would love to do it. But am I being improved? What I can think of, we've got till Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock. But remember that a lot of liquidity will start to slow down. Trading starts thinning out. People will be very hesitant to jump in before the FOMC meeting tomorrow evening. So expect the trading volatility to start slowing a bit. But I really do expect this to come down. But I'm very nervous of the fundamentals. Okay. But anyone aggressive, got the money to be aggressive, that I think is a high percentage aggressive case to sell this time. I think 137 broken. I think it's going to pull back to at least 136, if not more, maybe 135. Okay, that's what I based that idea on. Right. I think I've covered just about everything, and nothing particularly news come out that I haven't already mentioned. That's one decent bet. No more stuff to throw in. As before, a couple of new names, I think. Or are they? No, that's just no. Obed, I think Obed's been before. I'll put it up anyway. While we're doing this, the dollar index doesn't take long. I haven't really got much else to offer at the moment, so shame if you feel a bit of pain there, to say the least. Here, you can't put it like that. Be quite odd to say, you know. Sort of sound like you're clinging on, sort of skinnier teeth, or expression is holding on with your fingernails.
That's true. That's true.
Not totally your fault, to be honest. We can say getting out too quickly and blah 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 emotion, but still, the fundamentals are really are giving us a tough time at the moment. Been that for a while, actually. You see, the problem is you're a rational sort of person. You need rhyme or reason. You get this sort of nervous getting out there. Throw rhyme and reason out the window. It's more emotional take. When people get nervous, they overdo it. You know, overdo it. Not the right word for it. So yeah, that's why you get these sort of knee-jerk reactions. Not scientific, pure emotion. And so the media doesn't help in sensationalizing everything. I think a lot of problems the world. Gone.
And the jitters with the bank, the fact that that bank has been taken over by JP Morgan, that's another story. So everything is upside down. You took a trade on the yesterday morning on the Aussie, a sell against the dollar.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it changed after they increased the interest rate. So I'm more than biting on my teeth. I don't know what's going to happen.
Unfortunately, that's no way I can put it better than that. You're quite right. You weren't to know that wasn't unexpected. As I say, normally you expect the 0.25% it is, or non, and it came out unexpectedly, and then I just threw everything out. You might have been in favour or not, but that's just flicking a coin, basically. Absolutely.
Absolutely, because the previous time they keep it stable. So why now all of a sudden increase it? You understand what I'm saying? There's no logic to it.
Well, it is probably because the finance minister thought it was necessary. But normally they sort of drop out little hints there because they like to prepare. I think, I'm not quite sure they didn't. I mean, I haven't really seen it happen with Lagarde or even Governor Bailey, and certainly not with the Fed, certainly not with Powell. If they think it's going to be 0.25%, it's going to be really seriously radical not to be that. To be fair, the Aussie, you cannot compare with the Australian kind of effect on the world markets. But still, if you're in it, it's your bloody issue. I quite agree.
No, and with that, now all of a sudden, due to the fact that it changed totally around, I mean, I'm sitting here and worrying about margin calls. That's as easy as it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because JP Morgan shares went up on taking over One Republic. But that sort of eased off a bit because it took it over. That's because I mean, often you get the companies picking the sum of its parts. You get a nervous reaction from the business, and then the share price plumets down. But you look at the asset of the business; it's above the share price, and a cool, logical bunch of accounts will see that and they'll grab it up and get themselves a nice little bargain, underpriced, in other words. That seemed to settle down a bit as well. But again, it's again the problem is they want to do inflation, but if they put interest rates up over the long-term bonds, are crippling the bankers at the moment, and of course the high interest rates are crippling the borrowers, and it's slowing the economy. It's almost bringing the inflation down itself. So it's again, it's the problem really. It's individual greed, buying something on credit when they can't really afford it, just because it's cheaper interest rates. Hectic sales pitch, because obviously the people want to sell the product. That's understandable. And the politicians try to cater for quite frankly, the majority, which base most of their thoughts on emotional, and they're jumping around, often spending large amounts of money on things more emotional than practical. I mean, about the debt ceiling again, they got to raise it. And huff and puff. Will they do it? Get a gum shout they won't. Huff and puff, no, we won't. Of course they will. They have no choice in the matter, but they'll huff and puff for political reasons. Biden is not going to break down or cut back any of his social programs. And it sounds all very nice from the man in the street. What a nice guy, look after us. But they'll think, well, money's got to come from somewhere, and it hasn't been earned. It's got to be borrowed. So it's kicking down the problem down the lake. But they don't know that. Most people on the planet have been kept rather happily from powers that be and informed on the basis of economics, no more than more involved forms of economics. So he's quite steadfast on that. I'm not going to cut back on social programs, but they can't afford them. It's like the government over here saying, "It's all the problems. 350 rand's not enough. We're going to put it up to £5,000 a month." All the men in the street here, well, yeah, we'll vote you an ANC, you're my pal, the rest of it. But where they get that Tom from? And it comes back to bites, and they'll come up with things like wealth tax, which that's the biggest con ever. There's no ways a guy who's a very wealthy guy has got the economic nous and ability to get his money offshore. So that's purely a sales pitch of the simple voters, And but it sounds good to them to go in for it. And of course, they don't think where's the money come from. They're only interested in their own self-want at the time. And inflation gets out of hand, and someone's got to pick up the bill. And these social programs are costing them. The same problem over here with the SOEs, they're costing the government in salaries, etc. Well, quite frankly, they're not very well run. Astronomical amounts of money, and they haven't got enough taxpayer, haven't got enough middle class to pay for it. So we're going to go. We're going to borrow to sustain it. The unions won't back down on it because they still want to take the flat from their people who are voting for them. It's just an ever-decreasing circle, and it's based on basically mass ignorance. Simple as that. In fact, it's just it's astounding how many people know absolutely nothing about some of the controls of their life, i.e. money. I mean, when I say nothing, I mean absolutely sod all. It's very scary. I'm not talking economic degrees here. I mean, data.
No, it is really scary. And the fact of the matter is, then they start feeding you this BS, and you're supposed to absorb it and agree with him. That, for me, one of the most serious problems that I experience currently.
I completely, totally. I don't want to bore you stiff, get my bloody hobby horse here, but the irresponsible of the media politically manipulate the masses is probably the biggest enemy number one. Because you just have to look at some of the news programs and the social media, and it's this puerile triviality, all trying to put a complex situation into a headline to attract attention and push a narrative. I mean, it is pushing minor little prejudice and fears and playing with basic animalistic emotions on, quite frankly, not very highly educated people, but the vote is all equal. And that kind of irresponsibility is extremely damaging. In fact, when I go to the news now, it's not really news, it's meant to entertaining. It's more an entertainment channel for gossip more than anything else. And anything that's difficult or complex or needs tough medicine is not even talked about, pushed on, and the problem is deflected elsewhere. And this borrowed money has been happening for years. It's been kicked down the road, and now it's coming back to bite. We've lived off money that's not ours for far too long. I mean, man the street. I'm not out of work people. Man the street, and let's say 30, 40, 50K, make it 50K round a month upwards. If they were to take a look at their personal balance sheet, you'll find their debt compared to earning, it's pretty hectic. You're just hanging on because that's why so much money is going out at the end of the month, hang on to that debt. But once it gets slightly behind that, as an Eskom, where the interest on the debt can't be paid into the capital, then it starts to implode. So that's how governments work. That's how, and the average sort of middle class person might be a good lawyer, but anything about economics is managing their own personal financial area. And trouble is, we leverage liabilities, not assets. The idea of leverage is to leverage assets to grow business. But most people do it. They leverage liabilities, things that decrease in value, like cars and shoes and clothing and durable goods, furniture, fridges, they all go down. And they pay on tick. You're leveraging liabilities. They look at you askance and know what you're talking about. Unfortunately, that happy state of ignorance is kept in that way. Don't you worry about it. It's only got 1%. What's 1% between men? You know what I mean? Then suddenly they bought the house, even though the interest rate goes up. Now, of course, they've got to foreclose on it. And that brings down the price of houses, even those who can afford it. Because the reason why a house is £1 million around, you can get it on tick. And suddenly wiped out, you had to pay cash. The house price will plummet. The car price will plummet. You go out of business, right? Because it's based, the whole sales based on debt. And that's how society is at the moment. And it's coming. Don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. And it's going to bite. It's going to be big. And they always say, the poor bit, the worst. It's got no protection. Coming up with a bunch of slogans ain't going to solve the problem, right? The Americans love that. And they saw that the rest of the world. Bloody slogans. God, oh well. That's coming up. This thought might say a progressive guy who wasn't frightened to be margin called, sorry, Mr. Murray. That would have been a good trade. Shit, not laughing.
No, it's absolutely true here now with, but it seems like the yen is busy strengthening against all the other currencies. Have a look at it now.
Absolutely. Yeah, as mentioned earlier on, I'm so surprised. I expected that. This is knee-jerk reaction from a certain government policy. The overall strength of the yen is coming back in again. And it's, I mean, most analysts are long yen going forward. But they can handle these kind of blips because they've got the Tom. They can handle this. The guys without the Tom can't. That's the problem. They can't have wide stops and all these sort of things because they haven't got the funds. They haven't got the ammunition. That's the bottom line. You need knowledge, of course. You need the capital as well to make use of that knowledge. Yeah. Anyway. So there we are. But yeah, I mean, irresponsible, the mainstream media is terrible. And I see quite a few programs on people who are trying to get it across, but you see their ratings of maybe a few 100,000 or something like that. But the mainstream media went into millions, so they got control there. And it's all handled by a few tech billionaires that can totally controlling the thinking. It's almost like Stalinism. Once you're aware of it, it's just see for what it is. It's scary. You feel for some of these guys marching down the street, hoping in their hearts that they're doing good. You sorry sods, you're just being played, you know. I'm getting a bit of a pullback on the NAS. I'm sorry, guys, I can't. We've discussed a few stuff fundamentally or whatever. If you like, could add to your knowledge. I'm quite to do that. Most of the guys are familiar names. They know quite a bit already, and they might be able to add to the conversation. But if you can find a trade, that comes first. But I was quite keen on maybe doing the AED-JPY and sending out to the office to send out. But I have to be honest, I thought just be a little bit cautious at the moment. And that cautious naturally has come back to bite it, but I think I would have done well. Anyway, I didn't, so I didn't. But if you see it, we'll have a look at it. But maybe try and use this a bit of time we got here in value. Tighten up a few questions, because I do want everyone who's spent, not one lesson in the trading room, but have been here for a few days, maybe a week or so, a bit more, to at least understand the basics of they're in derivatives, how to know what leverage is, how to find what the leverage is, what that actually means, the fundamentals, how it works, how the effect it has on it, how important it is the moving average compared and the highs and the lows, more than lagging indicators and all that sort of thing, how much emotion plays a part. Those things, it doesn't take months, it should take a week or two and then get some sort of idea of it. But I don't want people a month, 2 months down the line saying, well, I didn't know I can cut my position, or I didn't know I could work out, I didn't know I was in a leverage product. What does leverage mean? You don't want to be in the car if you don't know what it's about, Well done, Tommy, good stuff. I think it should be all right now. You're a JPY for sell. Cancel, that might be an idea. Yeah. Let's look at the weekly. Let's crunch it a bit. What's happening on the monthly? Maybe we find some support areas there, get rid of this guy here. Yeah, right up there. It's just going to break through a bit of monthly. A lot of data come through. Even the fast fiber is still going to come through. Still trying to break through this guy here, but it looks like downside. I agree with you. Why, you say? Technically, right, but it's overcooked. The euro is quite strong, but the Japanese now become back a little bit stronger. That Japanese, that there is undervalued, the euro is overvalued. So yeah, I do expect downside there, despite the tech. This is coming through here. Okay, we're getting a bit more there. There we are. So that's fine. Okay, go back to the daily. So a bit more information to see what we're doing there. 4 hourly. Come on, what's happening here? Here we are. Coming off, yep. Hourly. 15 minutes, I'm sure 15 will tell me, but we'll have a look at it anyway. Yeah. Trying to break through here. A few buyers are coming up to 15 minutes again. Trying to pop up. A few sellers are coming in. Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a glitch on the way up before it comes off. Where can we put the stop? One ain't going to cut it. Let's try the 4 hour. Is that too far? That's too far. We'll have to risk it here. Yeah, we're going to have to risk it there, the stop. I think it's going to break through here. Let's look. Take it down here. No, take a risk reward. Yeah, I agree with that. Downside there. Why did Mully over that? I just want to say hi to new guys here. Mr. Van der Scape. I presume I can't see it's a MU apostrophe ADH or whatever that is. So I presume it's a Mr. Not a Mrs. But if it is or whatever, you can tell me. And so anybody new, if you're coming in, this is a trading room where we discuss trade ideas, fundamentals, news, strategies, that sort of thing, with the expectation that people have been to classes and have got some basic knowledge and obviously know how to operate the platform. If you haven't done how to operate the platform, you haven't got any knowledge, you haven't been to any classes, you might find this a little bit overwhelming. You can stay with pleasure, I'm just saying so. But you can interact and you can ask. It's a forum where, although I'm the host, we're trying to work it like a family where we interact and come up with ideas together. A lot of the trades you see out there, or I put my signature behind them, but they do come from the trade room. If it's a good idea, and we send them out. So here's a good area to become on a regular basis. If it seems a bit bewildering at first, stick it out. Remember, you didn't learn how to play the piano or drive a car or build whatever in a day, Rome or whatever. So stick it out, and hopefully after that it'll come together. Okay. Okay, the more you put into under, the more you get out. Yeah, don't expect to do it in a day. It fascinates me. People know you've got to spend a few years at university to get your degree, and then a bit more training in the commercial world before you made a partner or start going up in it. And yet you want to do it without knowing anything in half a minute here. No, it's going to take a little bit of time. It's like any business. Certain stuff's got to be learned. And it's an international money market. There's quite a bit involved in it. So pick it up, and no one's a full expert, but you will learn from other guys and stick with it. Don't think, oh, well, I just get a signal, make a lot of money. No, it's a bit more to it, I'm afraid to say. Just bear that in mind. Not that difficult, more needs common sense. But yeah, I think it's going to break to the downsiders. I agree. Yeah, probably upsells are coming in, lower lows on the 15-minute, I agree. If you want to do it, I'll put it up. Too far away above this guy, unfortunately, we take it down here. The next low coincides with the 10-day moving average at 148, make it 148.30 to cover the spread. Ah, 48.30. I hope everyone knows what I mean by that. Don't nod your head if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's simple. I'll discuss it a little more, just so everyone on the same. Anyone want to do this trade? I agree with you. Anyone want to do this trade? Tommy, yeah, do you want to do it? Anyone want to do this trade?
I'm just checking my margin, but I would love to do it.
Okay, well, I'll put that as a yes then. You know, I mean, you favour the trade, that's fine. So 4 is keen, Elan's keen, and Tommy's keen's good enough for me. Just put that down. 150.2, I think, for price we had it. What was Euro GP? Just a second, I'll write this down. Euro GP. Get these guys in. Oh, they're already okay. 151.04, 148.30. Don't worry about the last decimal points, irrelevant. We're after pips, not points, remember, guys? What's it? 135 a shot. 135 a micro. With that information, you can work out what you're prepared to risk and your volumes. Can't do the basic maths on that. Class will teach you. If you still can't do it, maybe this is not for you. Okay, getting like Mark, so you bump and it jumps up a few pips. So I'm only joking. 150. But there'd be 1 or 2 guys who got DPs there at 150. That's why you're getting short covering bounce. That jumps a little bit because it's got the ramp for. A lot of people put the TPs there. Once we've got rid of them, it should come off. Fingers crossed. Don't know, but that's my thinking. Okay, now what I just want to make sure we understand what I mean. Well, I'm thinking slightly higher than that because to take up for what I call the spread. If you see that line there, and you put your TP on a short there, you would still be in. If it bounced from there and you put your TP at 146.83, right? And it bounced from there, wondering why you're still in. You can clearly see it got the 146.83, and that's my TP is. The problem is it got there on the bid, not on the ask. You've got to take the spread into account. It's got to get there on the buy or the ask. Everyone understand that? Everyone not understand that? I mean, most of you do. Everyone hopefully does understand that. You get out, you go in on the short, you get out of this guy. So if it reaches there, it's still in. It's got this guy's got to reach a TP to get out. And that got to there at 146.80, but the buy or the ask was only 146.85. So that you'd still be in. That, if your stop loss is 146.80, not this figure here or the line of the chart, that's got to get there to knock you out. That's why I put the TP about 3-4 pips above there just to cover that, because I've got to She's very good about it, upset that she got stopped out on a winning trade because she was still in the TP. Well, first of all, she had been to TR, she didn't modifying stops. She left the stop loss exactly where it was. It literally came with 2-3 pips of the TP, and it bounced up again. The line was on the TP. She was still in and didn't understand about the spread or modifying. And that's just, again, lack of knowledge and a pity, a great pity. Hopefully the guys in the TR, that would never happen to them. Even though they weren't aware of the spread, we know now, they'd have modified and been knocked out into a nice profit. So that, again, is trading without knowing the slice idea what you're doing. It's practicing medicine or driving the car without knowing and wondering why it's not working out. And you'd be surprised how many people worldwide are trading without even, you know, having matric level, never mind degree level knowledge of it. Because they're going with the wrong attitude, unfortunately. They're going for a quick fix, like we all want. Like go to the hairdressers, make me look like a film star. Okay, so I hope you all know what I mean by the spread. If you're in on the short, you get out on the buy, not the sell. And vice versa, you're going wrong, of course. Oh, you take your profit, Katie. Was it jumped up again? Did it? Was that jumped up again? Did it?
No, I didn't take it. It's just it alleviates my problems with the margin. So that's why I'm taking the Euro JPY as well.
Oh, I see. Okay, because the CAD JPY, don't get out of one that's very profitable to go to some that might be profitable. We'll make a habit of that. So this is a profitable one. Why exit that? You can't get another one. It's one of the things. But I wouldn't get out of this to go to that one. But anyway, this is really flying at the moment. I'm glad I said to hold on with it, Ken and Company at 180. It's still coming off. Right, we can modify again. 101, we can modify that to 150. 100.50. It's only 20 pips away, but we're coming in some serious resistance here. You're already 130 pips in profit, minus the spread costs. So that's a fantastic trade for the day. That's why ride it out. You're 50, 60, 80 pips you're losing. This is 130 pips, and it's still riding it. So what you can do here is, if you like, if you're still in it, you can either cut it and move your stop to 160, or don't cut it, just leave it and ride the stop to 150. So you can get down to the 100 level. Ride the damn thing. Ride the profit, guys. Don't jump out of profit. I'll just take that now and get into another one. I might stop you out. That's just, again, emotion. It makes no rational sense. You all know about cutting it. You don't have to close the entire position. You can cut it as long as you've got more than 1 micro. If you don't know what I'm talking about, for God's sake, ask. Yeah, but that's really flying at the moment. That's really a beaut. But it might have a bounce here. I'm not sure which. If you think 150 is a bit close, which you might be true, maybe 160.
150 or 160?
I can't make that 100% course impossible. I'm maybe 100.60. It might get a 15 pips a bit close. Yeah, I think 160 might do the job. Then you're 100 pips in profit, and then it's 30 pips out of the way, and then we might continue down 100. You might even break 100 and get down to the TP. So it's make it 100.60. I think give it a bit of room. Hate to get to 150 and scream off when you're not on board. Okay, Ken. At least we've got some happy chappies, eh, Mr. Ken? At least you're happy at the moment.
Yes, thank you, mate. All thanks to you.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I missed that. Say it again. Hearing's a bit bad. What was that again? I missed that. Only kidding. Thanks, mate.
For those who are still in the gold trade, it also seems great. It's now 2010.
Practically at the TP. What a pleasure. Just want to mention something here, Ken. The NZD JPY I lost money all thanks to you. You don't have to remind me of that, by the way. Yeah, it's just about the TP there. I think it was TP. What was a TP?
2022.
No, 2013. That was another one we sent out. Thought the signal we sent out might be original one. Yeah, that goes way back. The one that was sent out on the 21st, been for a while, longer than I thought. 2013 is the TP. Okay, so that's practically there. May or may not get there, but if it doesn't get there, we're not going to lose on it, are we, guys? We've learned that much, haven't we? It's getting something. We're not going to lose, are we? So what are we going to do? It's right the high here. It might not get there. Suggest you put your stop up to maybe 2005. Give it a maybe 2006. At least you banked in a 1982 entry. You banked in $24 per ounce profit, whatever your starting position is, and it might come off from technical profit taken around this area. If you will get scared, you want to take it $3 below, maybe you can. That would be, that's not a hassle, that's practically close to TP. Or maybe cut the position, make it 006, you get stopped out, at least you bank half now. So maybe bank half it now if you're still in. If none of you are in, I'm wasting my breath, then you're all out. But that's what I would do. Probably cut half, let the other half run, put the stop up to 2006, and make a profit whatever happens.
I'm stopping luckily.
No, Sephora, that should sell. That was the trading idea we had on the 21st. Don't know quite what to do with it now. But that looks that's pretty good. But the trouble is, again, it's all very well to have that, but most guys, unfortunately, are not on board. They're taking it too quick. It's such a pity. They're not getting the noise can play. Have it in your mind. Don't look at it. Just bring it out the way like this. Bring it out the way so you can't see it. Check it now and again, of course, but you know, to modify, well, stare at it. That's when your demons, your head plays with you. If you look back on the trades most guys talk about, they've been getting out with 40, 50 when they should be getting 150 and holding on to not 100 pip losses, 200, 300, because they're just not getting out. That's what happened to a lot of the guys in the NASDAQ. They're getting very high, out stops, modifying stops the way it might go up, and then suddenly it kept on coming down, and they were in a problem. That's just bad trading habits. That's not signals the market. Now we'll go back to the yields come by the way. Problem the dollars opening, and the dollars come off in this last hour. It's come from 102.36 to 102.08. I hope you've all got the dollar index. If you haven't, I'll copy and paste it on the chat line for you. That's come off quite a bit. That's the boost and the rest of it. So that's why you're getting a help with the dollar yen, which should be coming off this week, and the euro dollar as well. Okay, dollar yen should be coming off. Euro JPY. You know, did the dollar yen? Did they? They did. I'll check it for you. Euro JPY, Euro J. They've got one there. Popped up a little bit, but yeah, that's just a little bit of a bounce there from short cover. That's all right. Dollar yen. I think Tombi took it. Should be in a bit of a profit there. Yeah, should be doing okay there. No surprise there. That's fine. ADJPY is one the guys didn't want to do, and I checking out sending it out. I think it's probably doing okay as well. Yeah, that's doing pretty good. Should take that guy this morning. Yeah, it's nice to know something expected to come to the party. Pound dollar might be looking a little bit interesting. I think the pound dollar might come off. It gets back there again, but leave it alone. Yeah, and the national theory should be coming off. Yes, it is. Yeah, don't get cute now. Just talking aloud there. Don't get cute. But just see what's happening. I think a lot of feeling out there. They're going to go for the hawkish stance tomorrow. I think just preparing themselves by exiting some of their long trades in the tech stock. They had a very good run on They got a very good run on the tech stocks lately. A lot of it unexpected. And I think they're sort of saying play safe and getting out. Market sent through, oil's come off. Yeah, but that's why you modify stops. Did come off, but we modified. Now I've been stopped out, wasn't a profit. If you didn't do that, well, yeah. I'm looking, might come off soon on the daily. Yep, it might come off enough when we get a bit settling down. Probably, I don't know, will it be this week or not. It's going to languish down the 70 mark. We might get some bottom buy and then take it back up again. But leave alone for the time being. You should, in theory, have been stopped out in a profit on this. Are you going home now? Okay, thanks for joining us. Get the hang of this, you can work from home, so you can let driving. Okay, any of you guys got anything to discuss? You all know about the Brazilian size calculator, getting your volumes right. You all know how to left click on any specific instrument of your choice, then right click, then left click on specification, and there the information. No good knowing where it is, you know what it means. You don't know what it means, ask me and I'll explain what it means. If you don't ask, I assume you do know. Because it's important, I would have mentioned otherwise. A lot of stuff we learn when we're studying is all good stuff, but it's not that valuable commercially. These sort of bullet points are important.
Roger,
Yeah.
GBP CHF for a short. We looked at it this morning, and I think the ship sailed. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it sailed. Yeah, I know it sailed. I really want to do this on Friday, actually. Nobody wanted to know. Monday, obviously, I wasn't around. I had some idea, but I was not taking calls, taking the day off. But yeah, I threw that ship sailed. Now it's come right down to resistance. Hope we get a bounce to sell it. Yeah, that ship sailed. That's big. We want to get out around the 1.2 mark, 1.12 mark. That is a pity. In fact, I think it was on Friday, around about these levels. I'm not sure it would stop up here. No, in fact, a slightly wider stop. Nobody was keen. Crappy pity. I quite like the G.
This morning, I actually wanted to enter double 1.118.
Did you looked at it, but you didn't do it, I presume?
No, I didn't do it. My margin issues was not that great. Damn. That is a problem with little money.
It is the major problem, little money. Absolutely. So try to get across to people. You're trying to run with your hands behind your back, or three-legged race, one tied leg to another one, you know? Remember that? You did in school over here when your kids a three-legged race? It's a UK thing, I think over here as well. Same sort of principle. You do need capital, because otherwise you're always going to be risk margin calling. But you're not going to see a bung capital by borrowing it. Capital you can afford to risk. If you haven't got capital and you can't afford to take the risk, you're in the wrong business. This is not for the risk averse. Yeah.
No, I think my risk appetite is higher than my IQ. That's why I'm going for everything.
Well, you say that. Look at Elon Musk. He was practically out of business at one stage before it suddenly came to the party. And from practically going bankrupt, was the richest guy in the world in about a year or so. So, yeah. But the dollars continue to drop. So, yeah. Not that I know we're not looking at a dollar at the moment, but yeah, it's continue to drop. So it's going to, in theory, the gold might get the TP. The dollar yen, I think Tomby took it, should be smiling in theory. That's nice. Well, there you are, nice side of pop up for some reason. That's when you get frustrated. Dollar plummeting, so, yen is strengthening, so what happens? Well, it pops up. It's a short term, but it just shows. All that is basically, we make a joke about Murphy's Law. A lot of it's just profit taking. And quite frankly, a large amount of retail traders were trading on more emotion than rational information. You get some of these funny movements. Good stuff in Donald. I don't know how many million are out there. I used to be told, I think it's about 50, 60 million retail trades out there. And most of them are trading, this trading strategy purely emotion. And that's why you often get some strange movements, because on their own, they're fairly financially irrelevant, but collectively becomes very relevant. One person, no good. An army of 1 million people, now it's got power, that sort of thing. Thank you for your faith in me and Tommy. I'm glad it's paying off. I know it's tough at times, but Barney, you don't do a bad job here. Keep the sense of humor there, because you're going to need it. But sometimes it goes beyond the sense of humor. I've been through it all myself. So I'm teasing in a very empathetic way. How they've got that t-shirt many times. Hurling bloody eggs at the screen job. Looks like the gold's coming up, not quite sure why, because rand's coming down, dollar's coming down, and the yields are coming down, should push it up. Might just a bit of a profit-taking glitch for another move up. Anyway, it's in profit. Whatever you do not lose on this trade. Period. CAD JPY, AUD is definitely sell there. Ah, sells. Laddie pity missed that one. Merchant this morning, nobody wanted to know. What a pity. Even the strategy room, our private strategy room, nobody wanted to know. So, what a pity. This is still coming off. Ride the damn thing. It's got to break through 100. It might not do it this time, but hopefully it's not going to stop you out at 100.60. Hover around that and break through, and we might actually get down to the TP. Only 60 pips to go, 70 pips to go. But it doesn't matter what does matter. I like to get the TP, but it shouldn't affect anyone in this trade if they'd hanged on in there, because they will not lose now. They've got the stop loss in place, modified. They went out to you guys this morning. Anybody in the trading room took this trade? And if they did, are they still in it? Or they all jumped out in panic? Because you need to be open and discuss that so we can learn not to do this every time we do it. If you don't discuss it, then we don't know how to overcome it. You know? Because in theory, you guys should still be in it.
Yeah, I'm still in, mate.
Yeah, I think you would be, Ken. Yeah, I'm talking about the others. Dieter, Yulan, Brian, Juan, Mandla, Michael, Madeira, there's a lot of guys there. Are you still in the trade? You should be. Or you all come on, put your hand up. I won't laugh. I'll snigger, but I won't laugh if you took it when it's 30 pips in profit. Good for you. Give the men a bells. Give the man a bells. Good for you, Ellen. Give the lady a bells. Well done, my dear. This is what I want to hear. The guys are starting. Now, come on, guys. Put your hands up. Be honest now. Who are the guys took it and you panicked too quickly? Watching it sail the sunset, you're not on board. But as long as you modified your stop, get it down to 100.60. If you get stopped out, you made 100 pips profit. So be it. Hit your TP, you're going to make a 200 pip profit or just over. It's a win big or win large. Win very big or win big. Van der Star, I like to hear this. Why is everyone jumping out far too quick? Modify. If you get too nervous, cap your position. Unless you've only got one micro. Anyone not know how to cut the position? I don't say these things, nobody asks, and I assume they know what I'm talking about. Don't say, what do you mean by that? Hope you all know you don't have to bank the whole lot, you can bank part of it. Hope you all know that. If you don't, I'll let you know, it's 2 seconds to show you, it's easy enough. It takes 2 seconds, but it's very important.
$100.600 on KJPY. The new stop loss adjusted to 100.600.
Fine, that's fine, 100%, good man. That's, guy just sent through, he says, hi, Roger. The morning's trade is going nicely. That's nice to hear. Yes, I can, Mandler. Yes, I can, very much so. Make it 100.50 now, if that's a big enough gap, eh? You leave yours at 60 if you like, Ken. I'm just asked, and it's come down further than we discussed it. We discussed it at about 130. It's now 100 below 120. You might get some noise round about the round figure. Don't forget the round figure is a psychological area of support resistance. You might get some noise, a bit of a bounce to 100 Canadian dollar mark. So yeah, might get a bit of bounce there. Okay, what about the one we got out just now? URJPY. Yeah, it's come to the party, eh? Panic not, guys. See it bounce up. It's natural when you begin. Just got in. The major thing when you get into anything, you get a car to go from A to B, you expect it to go in the direction you point the car at, understandably. This is different. It's going to jump up a bit and you'll start panicking. Now it's going against me, yeah. So just having a little bit of profit taking around the 150 round figure. Now we're getting the breakthrough. Hopefully we can stick with it. So in a bit of profit there. By the way, just want to apportion blame. If it goes wrong, it's Farney's idea. If it goes right, it was me because I backed Farney on it, even though he came up with it. It's a win-win for me and a lose-lose for Farney. The best time to kick a man is when he's down. Otherwise, he gets up, he might hit you back. Always remember, very important in life that. Would you agree with that, Farney?
As long as they keep me on my knees because I'm a fighter. Eh?
Okay. Oh, like Rocky Marciano. Remember him? He always used to duck under. He was very stocky and he always got in close.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the older guys. Most guys never heard of him. That goes way back. The only undefeated heavyweight of all time. Anyone laughs at that, showing their age because they'll know who he is. Youngsters don't know who he is. Before Muhammad Ali, I tell you, it goes way back. My great-grandfather told me about that because, of course, I was far too young. Yeah, let's hope it comes right, party. Thanks very much. Obviously, that's my right way of saying thank you. Hope it comes to the party. It's doing okay at the moment. We got in there just above the round figure. Now it seems to be okay. Don't modify yet. Too soon. This we can break down below the last hour candle and get some more movement. Bounce a little bit. Some cells are coming in. And it's only just turned 5, so it's only a couple of minutes old. So hopefully we're going to get some movement down. It's trying to move down. Come on, yen. Your dollar yen should be doing dollar yen should be doing okay. Yes, that's coming to the party, Tomby. Stuff. GBP CHF, missed AUD, JPY, missed supply. Be masochistic and keep looking at it. Probably get more tumbling. Don't worry about the WTI. Most guys be out of it. I want it to come off. It's going to come off so far, and then we can look to buy it and get a nice trade back up again. Might come down to 70, in fact. Get down to about 70 around figure. Obviously, then starts moving. We'll get a beautiful trade. Plenty of upside potential on that. So let's see how it goes. Interesting name, Sippy Kiri. Okay. Okay. Any guys want to ask any questions? Anything you think, well, let's have a look at something? Anything you think, well, it's not quite sure what those moving averages are about. Should I have them? What are they? How do I work out leverage again? And some of the basic stuff. I don't mind spending a few moments on in quiet times. We've got a minute or two. Are we going to join us, Mundler, on the session at 2 o'clock on Friday? Well, yeah, well, I don't know. You should have modified it, Mundler, for trading training to profit. So, like myself, you stopped out already in a profit. You still hang on in there when it was a nice profit. You should have not moved it. Well, I'll stick with a strategy. I can't say jump out now and it bounces up. You know, stick with the strategy. That's why it's important with these up and down fundamental propaganda flying around on the cell phone worldwide. That yeah, modify it. You should have been stopped out on that one, guys. You should have been stopped out in a profit. But anyway, your answer, the bottom line is, well, your choice, mate. Might get a bounce. Let's keep your fingers crossed for you. But don't modify your stop away. If you get stopped out, let it be. That's you worked your trade out on whether stop loss. That's something. I might be stopped out. Should I move it away? Or what's the point of the stop loss? That's an increase. Moving away is called an increase loss. An IL, not an SL, an IL, an increase loss. Gold rebound. I think the dollar's still coming off. That's bouncing a bit. So it might have a bit of a pullback on gold. That's trying to rebound. Good stuff. Might hit the TP, but if you stopped out in the profit, so be it. Might get the TP. You are JPY. What happened there? What the hell happened there? It's doing beautifully. That's just jumped up again. That's the market for you. JPY, yeah, bit of a jump there. Practically got to the round figure and had a bit of a jump. Nearly got there. Okay, leave your stop where it is. You've made a nice spot where it happens. Maybe you can break through. Why the hell did you JPY suddenly jump? Doing just nicely a moment ago. That's the market for you. The noise, the up and down.
Is the euro market's not closing at 5 o'clock, and maybe that's because then all of a sudden there's some more volumes trading at that point in time, 5 o'clock?
Never really thought about that, actually. Slow down. Europe is a very, very big zone. I mean, Germany, France, Italy, well, UK, I know it's not part of Europe, but you get the idea. That could be something to do with it. Yeah, could well be. And the
Because I read
Americans.
an article that one of the ladies I think it was on investing.com, reckoned that the worst time to trade the sterling, GBP, pound is between 5 and 6:30 in the evening.
Yeah. What happens? American markets come in, they open 3:30, right? All sorts of exciting flurry of activity. Then about sort of 6 o'clock, or so 3:30, 5 to 6, it starts slowing down a bit. They've done all the bits and pieces when they got to their desk. Right. The same with the pound. I mean, remember, when the Japanese markets open, they're concentrating their own currency, understandably. I mean, South African trade yen, rands, and Japanese trade yen. You get the idea. So the guys in Britain will be trading the pound. That's what they do. So that I would agree with that. Just basically, that's still specialized common sense. They're starting to knock off. The Aussies are all asleep. Japanese are asleep. The Americans concentrate not on the pound, they concentrate on the euro and the pound as well, but more on the dollar, if you get the idea. So it will slow down, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, gold hit my raise stop loss at 2006.75.
That's fine. So you should have taken a reasonable profit on that. Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Great. Now, I'm just going back to your CAD JPY trade. Maybe I misunderstood you. I got the impression what you posted there, you got out the CAD JPY to go into Euro JPY. Is that what you did? Because I don't agree with that. If you're in a winning trade, run it.
No. I'm still in a winning trade. I didn't go out. I just say due to the fact that it was running so nicely, it alleviated my margin, and then I could get into the Euro JPY.
Got it. Yeah, because obviously your free margin is going to increase with that open trade to the profit. Absolutely. Yeah. I was just wondering. Okay, I just want to clarify that. That's fine. Good. And the beauty is you modified your stop, I suppose, as mentioned, that you protected, so it can't sort of margin call you on the CAD JPY, because if it does, you'd be stopped out of the profit anyway. So you're good both sides of the coin there.
Yep, and then I've done it on the gold as well. So I'm not anymore on with my teeth hanging on it, only with my hands and nails.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's fine. So increase margin of the CAD JPY, your dollars released. Your gold release money back into your account, and you manage to do this one. That's fine. It's break even at the moment, but it's trying to move back down as we speak. So yeah. Well, let's see how that goes. Good stuff. Good. Excellent. Okay. Right. Any questions? You all got the calculator? You all got all that stuff I normally bring up? Oh yes, everyone not do this, do it now. Right click on the blank part of your screen, go to templates and save your template. I'll try and do this every time. It takes 2 seconds, just a reminder. And then put your name in and press the save button. So if you lose it, you go right click, you go to templates, and then you click on the template there and you're back up and running. Like that will make sense. I've learned that the hard way as well. I'm not exactly a tech genius myself. And I had to reset the whole thing. If you do forget, and sometimes it's quite simple, you go right click again, go down to properties, you set it up again as you like. There's the example. If you're happy with it, press OK. And then the next time around, you save it. And don't forget, everyone must have the 50 and the 200. I like the 100, which is the black line, and I like the magenta, which is the 10 one. That's a 10-day, all simple moving averages. They're important, but these two are very important. The blue and the brown, the 50 and the 200 simple. All have it and save it. They're very important. And we've all seen that in the trading we've done in here, how important they are. Oh, dollar's still coming off, so yeah. I think your yen's going to do well. Your yen trade's going to do well then, Tomby. But quite at the moment, this is in profit. Okay. Okay, are you good, guys? Juan, Dieter, bit quiet now. Michael, you all good? Modifying your T. P, that's interesting. That's a good idea. Yeah, as Australian dollar happened, increase in interest rates, Mandela, unexpected. Nobody expected that. The increase, everyone got caught with that one. And that's why you suddenly had a major strength of the AUD. The trade was doing just fine. And then suddenly, obviously, Australian dollar jumped up because they had an unexpected increase in interest rates. That's the problem. That's a fundamental, as you can see here. But this is holding, so it might come off its long. Yeah, yeah. Well, WTI comes off, Brent will as well, and gas just dribbles along. Dribbles along. I'm saying, insignificant doesn't come to mind when I think of gas. But W's come off, so Brent will do the same. Yes, oil's oil. Yeah. What can we expect? We can expect, in my opinion, a hawkish stance, 0.25% increase, and he'll turn around and say, are we expecting any more coming up, anytime decrease? And he's going to turn around a bit more length in this. He says, we have to look at the situation, but I'm going to stick with what I've been saying the last couple of years. We need to get the debt under control, we need to get inflation under control, and the measures need to be done to make that sure of that. But if we see anything that's going to show that our inflation tactics are working and we get a decrease, then we can ease off the inflation. That's what I think he was going to say. The difference is when he says it counts and I say it doesn't. And if I was Powell speaking out loud to the world now, the papers get a hold of it, and then suddenly they'll be jumping up and down. Powell's still hawkish, bang, and all sorts of moves will come in. But that's what I'm pretty sure he's going to say, or worse than that effect. Probably a bit more involved than that, but that basis, what I think. Why should he suddenly give up the hawkish stance? He's gone through, the bank's coming under and he's stuck with it. Why should he suddenly give up now? He's on this mission. He's going to get inflation down. I think he's pie in the sky at 2%, but it's got to be better than this. Remember, we moan about inflation over here. UK, they got 10%. You know what I'm saying? The West and the Western world, I think most of the non-West. Oh. I'm not talking about Zimbabwe, the Central African Republic, or Haiti. You know, I'm talking about people with an economy of stock market and that sort of thing. We're talking about oil. I can't say close. I don't know. It might pop up suddenly. Just wish you weren't still in it. You should have got out of it. You should have been stopped out in profit. When it comes down further or holds a bit of support there, it might bounce. What that's going to do in the short term, nobody in the world knows. I can't call that. You get a bit of a bounce, it might continue. I don't know what happens. Probably that has to be your call. I can take an overall view, but I can't say, no, get out now. It's going to come down to 71. I don't know. Or I think if it does come down to 70, I'll be looking to buy it, depending on the situation. I'll look at it then. But the short-term movement, I can't. Nobody can.
But I'm quite surprised with the production cuts that came into effect as from Monday. The oil price still dropping.
There's worry in world economies. That's what's happening. There's a lot of worry in world economies. They're using less oil as well. I mean, guys, now I've been working more from home, driving less, getting smaller cars, getting bicycles, using Uber or whatever. This China as well is starting to lose a little bit less. I think even though they're doing that, I think it's quite fair there's demand coming off. I mean, in flights, not so much over here. In the US and in the UK and Europe, dirt cheap. You don't go by trade, you fly, it's dirt cheap. But with the high price of fuel, even those have gone up a bit, so people are flying a bit less. I mean, you live in the UK, you pop over for the weekend to Ireland by flying. Costs you 15, 20 quid, you know, simple as that. That's right, literally 15, 20, 25, some, depending on supply and demand on Ryanair. Flown many times in the UK, don't never get a train, just fly down. Cheap, very cheap. Hop on an aircraft, 20 quid. North to the south, hop off. Brilliant feeders getting towards where you want to be, and away you go. Flights now get quite expensive over here. Yeah, okay, right. Is it coming off from the CAD JPY still? Or is it getting a bit of a bounce yet? It's hovering a little bit. Thought it might get a bounce at 100. Nearly got to 100, nearly got there. But just shouldn't bounce a bit. Anyway, let it run, you're protected. Not much else we can look at the moment. You're a JPY, you've got the trade out if you took it, let it run. And that's about it we got at the moment. Flattening down a bit. You're quite right to point out European and UK markets starting to close now. So basically it's going to be fairly quiet. In the US, it's now been open for nearly 2 hours. They're slowing down a bit. There's no other big fundamentals coming out to move the market. Concentration, the world markets now is going to be on the FOMC meeting tomorrow, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Expect it to basically drift around going up to that time, and then expect some jumping around. He's going to say for us, I think more or less what I've just said there. People go to the Q&A and they'll try and trap him, and then it'll have big effects on movements, and yeah, there we go. Don't get cute. It's not a data release. I'd be staggered if it's not a 0.25% expected. He's got far more power than the Australians, so he'd have to be radical. So I'm 98% certain he ain't going to do it. Not 100, 98, be 0.25%. And then the Q&A afterwards determine some direction. And just to think you'll actually get direction, let Friday come out for non-farms. However, having said that, we might be able to take advantage on the 2 o'clock session tomorrow. I saw on Friday. If we get a differential expecting the actual, smiles back on people's faces, as long as they've got money to do it. These guys, you haven't got the money, they don't come in the trading room. You need the guys who've got money to make use of it. I say again, guys, you've got squat money in your account, you're not going to make money because you haven't got the investment, you haven't got the capital. I'll give an example. Somebody came in the chat line today with about 130 bucks in her account and said maybe she could do better if she went to 500 to 1 leverage. You know what I mean? No, it won't make any difference. Any questions, guys? Are you okay with that, Sephora? I think I answered that. All makes sense. Hope you're good with that. Any questions? Anything else? Are we all good? Because I'm drifting around a bit now. I don't mind going on to maybe 6 o'clock if it's all action. It's a bit quiet. You all know your stuff. Nothing else I can assist with. I know I'm starting to drivel along a bit. As long as I answer the questions that are required, and just have to hang on in there, and hope you're learning and getting value from the trading. All good. I'm glad to see Ken's got a smile, and I think a little bit of from fingernails to at least tips of the finger on Farden's point was good to hear. And I'm very pleased to see quite a few are still in that Cat JPY one. That's coming off again. Just look there. Coming off again. Good stuff. Bloody pleased you're in. That's fantastic. See you all tomorrow, guys. Well done for holding on in there, not grabbing it too quick. It means you're learning. Good stuff. Catch you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for all for supporting me. I hope we can go better tomorrow as well. But expect it to be a little bit iffy. Just bear that in mind because the big news coming out. Thank you, guys. Hi, Ken. Go for it. Thanks for your support.